Today is August 21st, and yesterday I made a video clip about things preceding torture of my son and also increasing torture of me. So I described where I had a surgery. It's at the University of Utah Hospital, some of the concerns that I had with that, and then the strange fact that I had to then work for a woman who specialized in top secret programs dealing with microchip industry. So where I left off was how this then was affecting my work. And after working for her, I worked for a computer company which I described as CTR Business Systems. And initially, I didn't have very many migraines triggered. However, later it was on an increasing basis, and I thought it was a little bit strange when I made a remark to a coworker, to a few coworkers, about how, just sort of joking around, I guess, about how my migraines seemed to always happen on the weekends, and then it looked like I was just, wanting a 3-day holiday. So, every week. And after I made that comment, I remember all of a sudden I was then having those migraines every single weekend, and it wasn't even random anymore. I was having them exactly every weekend. And at the time, of course, I didn't realize or suspect anything was really being done to me, but I just thought, this is really weird. I'm having these migraines every single weekend, so it really does look like I'm making excuses. So my work quality was very good. I was going to be promoted, and one of the managers there wanted to give me a raise in position and a paid salary job to do outside sales for computers and to market and sell to businesses. And yet at the same time, because of these migraines, I had another coworker tell me that I had to share my job as a receptionist then because of the migraines. So, beginning in 1996, the fact that I was having these migraines triggered affected my regular work schedule and ability to do things that I would naturally have been able to do very well. Or, I was doing very well as it was, but I could have done much better. And it cut off my potential. So, that really sounds, people deal with things all the time, but, so I just assumed that this was some kind of thing, physical problem that I was going to have to deal with, that it was just part of my life. And I didn't complain about it. But then then after working there, I had a few other strange experiences, and I want to skip over some of that and just go to the part about when I discovered the migraines were not natural and they were triggered by military, because I think that's more in keeping with my trying to describe at least this first thing that I discovered, which then eventually over the years has led to my realization that I have had microchips implanted into my body, which really sounds crazy. And I had a few people bring it up to me, and I never considered it. I brushed it off and brushed it aside because I thought that they were just trying to wanted me to sound crazier than I maybe already did. And I thought, right, I have microchips in my body, I'm sure, and aliens have invaded this earth as well. I mean, I just thought it was about that realistic. So, I'm not easily convinced of things, and I think that I'm a pretty rational and logical person. I believe in God, I believe in religion, some things that you can't see, but otherwise I am sort of an evidence-based personality type. I work a lot with intuition, I guess, but I also like to see evidence or have some idea that something is plausible. So, I discovered, well, my migraines, so then I had this pattern of having these migraines all of a sudden on the weekends, every weekend, which was just really bizarre. And I wasn't more stressed out than usual. It wasn't that I was having a down time, because I did read that sometimes migraine sufferers have them on the weekends more often because they work very hard during the week. The body is in high gear, and then when you take a break, it triggers a migraine for whatever reason. It's a shift of maybe brain activity that somehow creates an imbalance and then can trigger a migraine. But that wasn't really what was happening with me. I wasn't taking a break first. I was like having them on Friday and then all through the weekend. So after that, I worked for them until 1997. And then I didn't notice anything really out of the ordinary with the migraines until I was raped by someone, and in 1998. And I was a virgin at the time that I was raped, and I had kissed one person my entire life. That was the young man from high school. And it had been 6 years since since it had been about, 6 years I hadn't held hands with any other man, I hadn't kissed anyone, hadn't become intimately connected in any way. And I had refused to be, although I guess, I was a little bit intimate. I was not intimate, yes, definitely, with Robin at the time in high school. When I broke off the relationship, there were a few times maybe we still kissed or made out, I suppose you could say. But I was a virgin, and I still was not going to be his girlfriend because of my reasons of not wanting to get too close to somebody that I wasn't going to marry. And I wanted to marry someone who had the same religious beliefs that I did, which was Protestant Christianity. So when this other person raped me, it was definitely a rape. I had no intention. He knew that I was a virgin. I had no intention of losing my virginity to him. And he was also not of my faith. So there's no reason why I would have suddenly just decided to throw away my virginity for somebody that I didn't know very well outside of work. And so there was absolutely no consent. And my entire personal history, and I guess some of my closest friends at that time who knew my character, possibly my friend Monica Allen at the time, who now is Monica Henderson, would be able to confirm at least that fact, that it was definitely a rape. So that aside,